Welcome to Retirement Ramblings. I'm Scott, and today is day 217 on my countdown to retirement, plus a quick update for for yesterday, day 218 that I missed. So yesterday, my son and daughter-in-law flew in from New Orleans following their one-year anniversary trip, and they didn't get to my place until like 7:30. So we hadn't eaten. So since my daughter-in-law is a pescatarian, um, and we decided to go out and get a pizza because I knew that she could eat that. So we ran out to the Mellow Mushroom, um, where my wife and daughter-in-law split a holy shiitake pizza, and my son and I split a medium mighty meaty pizza, which it kind of is my wife and my go-to for when we eat at Mellow Mushroom. Anyway, I had never had the holy shiitake pizza, and so my wife was saying how good it was, so I decided to give it a try. And I gotta say, the garlic aioli sauce, they call it a swirl or whatever. It was like a white swirl that they ran around the pizza. That was freaking delicious. So, I mean, it made the pizza. It had a bunch of other things like truffle oil on it and, basil and whatever. But the garlic aioli was fantastic. So, if you have a Mellow Mushroom near you and you want to try it, I highly recommend that particular pizza. So, when probably the next time we go back, just ourselves, we'll probably get that one instead of the Mighty Meaty because it was really good. Anyway, came home. It was already late. We were the last people in Mellow Mushroom, so we were closing the place down. Got home, and then I had to pay my AT&T fiber bill, so I took care of paying that, and that's pretty. We pay $100 a month for 1 gig fiber coming to our house, and I do that primarily to support the fact that up until recently I was working remotely 100% of the time, and I really need the high speed to do my work. I have lots of video calls, I have lots of other large file sharing activities, but once I retire at the end of the year, we'll be getting a new plan, whether I stay with AT&T and downgrade the plan, or I go to something like a T-Mobile 5G or something else that would be available in my area because we have very limited choices. Ideally, I would have liked to be quite honestly, on Comcast, the old broadband, because you can get really good speeds and it's pretty reliable, at least in the Atlanta area. But where I live, they don't have it, and they were going to come into the subdivision I live at and lay the fiber, or lay the conduit, I should say, for the coax. And our HOA association fought like cats and dogs with them, and basically they gave up and decided not to bring Comcast into the neighborhood. So I'm going to either have to go 5G or stay with AT&T. They're the only two choices that work in my neighborhood. Anyway, that was yesterday, day 218. And then today, day 217, I had to get up really early because I had early morning meetings, and then I had to book into the office and make it there before another meeting. So anyway, I got up, and when I first got up, I checked my emails, and I got an email from the New York Times with a story that quite honestly I was super surprised to see, especially given the different leanings of certain news outlets. And not to get political on this at all, I'm just going to share what they said, which I again found interesting. And so this came from the Associated Press. It's 2024 results, and it's in combination with Dave Leip's Atlas of U.S. Presidential Elections, Historical Results, and the American Community Survey Income. And so what it shows here on the graph is that Trump's 2024 victory was not an outlier, and in fact, close to half of the counties in the United States, 1,433 in all, shifted toward Republicans in each of the past 3 elections, and only 57 counties shifted towards Democrats in all 3. And the chart, which was produced by the New York Times, and the circle size on the graph indicates the county population. So the bigger the circle, the bigger the population. And it arranges the triple trending counties by income. And the New York Times analysis found that Democrats have improved almost exclusively, and get this, in wealthier areas, while Republicans are making gains in working class areas. There's only 3 counties in the last 3 elections that have shifted towards Trump that have a median income above $100,000. So that's their point, was saying the wealthier counties are not going for Trump, even though the talking points are always about, how the rich benefit from Trump and the things that he's doing. And again, not trying to be political, I just couldn't believe, uh, excuse me, that I got this from the New York Times. Anyway, it was raining in Atlanta this morning, and so my morning commute wasn't a pleasant one. It took me like an hour and 25 minutes to get to work. And then I had a meeting where I transitioned all of my billing responsibilities to our global VP of cloud. So took care of that. And then that was followed up with a bunch of meetings for the projects that I just recently inherited to try and get them back on track, because all of them are delayed. So I've pretty much had meetings and escalated different things. So I'm hoping that by Monday, everything will be back on track, because I was able to get additional resources assigned to the projects. And those guys have been like cranking all day today, getting things that were blockers moved out of the way. So I'm super excited with the progress that we made today, and I expect that I'll make tomorrow. So I should be able to go into the weekend feeling pretty good. So thumbs up for that. And then my son and daughter-in-law decided to drive down to South Atlanta, where my daughter-in-law's aunt and uncle on her father's side reside, and help them with a bunch of projects that, due to health issues, they haven't been able to finalize. So they figured they'd go do the sweat equity labor and help them, put the different projects across the finish line today. So good for them. Excuse me. Then when I got home, I just decided to fix some leftover. I had some partial boxes of seashell pasta and ziti pasta. So I started the seashells, which take about 15 minutes, and then the ziti takes about 12. So when I, after the first 3 minutes where the shells were cooking, I threw the ziti in so they'd all finish at the same time. And then I made, excuse me, I'm still trying to get over this allergy cough thing. And I'm taking Mucinex DM to keep the mucus thinned out. For those of you who care. Anyway, so I started making a garlic butter sauce that I then mixed with the pasta when it was done, and then added Parmesan cheese, grated Parmesan, to create a garlic cheese sauce. So my wife hasn't been doing well with red sauces. It seems to really upset her GERD problems. So I'm trying to see if white sauces will do any better for her. So made that. She seemed to like it. We'll see whether or not this evening when she goes to bed, which is when the problems usually kick in, if it kicks in with the white sauce. But it tasted good, so I was happy with that. And then with the trip coming up to visit my mom shortly, I went in and reserved a parking space at the parking spot 2, which is an off airport parking lot. And with my AAA discount, I got like $13 and change. I don't remember exactly what it was, $13.47, something like that, a day for uncovered parking for each of the days that I need to be gone, because the parking prices have gone up exponentially all around the Atlanta airport. And certainly if you're on, whether it's economy parking or whatever at the Atlanta airport, they're like more like $30 plus a day. Um, and, unfortunately, I'm used to paying historically, under $10 a day for uncovered parking. So the $13, even though it's a 30+% increase, isn't nearly as bad as tripling the cost if I was going closer to the airport than where I'm parking. And for me, I just happen to prefer the location where the parking spot 2 is located, which is right off of 285 um, in Atlanta, 285 in Camp Creek Parkway, because when I actually get dropped off at my car and I exit, it's like 2 minutes till I get on the highway, and then I'm on my way home. Whereas if I park closer to the airport, I got to battle my way out to the expressway. So anyway, that's my update for today. Not too much is happening in regards to retirement activities. Tomorrow, I do plan on putting in an auction um, purchase request for a 6-month T-bill. That the auction goes off on Monday, but that's about it. So that's my update for today and for yesterday. So if you have any questions or any comments, please leave them in the comment section down below, or drop me an email at myretirementramblings@gmail.com. Otherwise, I hope you have a great evening, and until tomorrow, take care.